I dare you to guess who the last WWE champion is going to be at the end of this 20-year sim. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we're going to be going 20 years into the future on WWE 2K14's Universe Mode. Now, if you've never seen one of these ways I do these sims, I like starting off showing y'all who the current champions are. On Monday Night Raw, the WWE champion is The Rock, the US champion is R-Truth, the World Tag Champions are the Real Americans, and the Divas champion is Natalya. Meanwhile, over on SmackDown, the World champion is Titus O'Neil, the Hardcore champion is Christian, the Real Americans are the Tag Team champions, and the Divas champion is actually Natalya. As we are simulating our first year, if you are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button today because one is absolutely free and two, you can subscribe at any point in the future. And did you know that we are on the road to 30,000 subscribers? And can we hit 800 likes on the very first day of this video being live? I think we can. Here we go. Year one's WrestleMania. Natalya is facing Lita in the opening contest for the Divas Championship with Natalya picking up the win. We then have Mick Foley versus Big E Langston in a tables match with Big E Langston picking up the win. Sheamus is battling Triple H, who has AJ Lee by his side, with Sheamus picking up the win. Damien Sandow battles Christian for the Hardcore Championship, with Christian picking up the win there. John Cena battles Roman Reigns in a last man standing match, with John Cena picking up the win. We got R-Truth versus Tensai, with Tensai picking up the win. In the main event of the evening, woo woo woo, Zack Ryder faces Dean Ambrose for the WWE Championship, and Dean Ambrose is the WWE Champion. So Dean Ambrose actually did defeat The Rock to become the WWE Champion. Meanwhile, R-Truth still has not lost that United States Championship. The Real Americans are still your World Tag Team Champions, and Natalya did not lose the Divas Championship either. While over on SmackDown, the World Heavyweight Champion is CM Punk, who defeated Titus O'Neil to gain that championship. Meanwhile, Christian, I do not believe, no, he did not. He never lost the Hardcore Championship. Welcome to year two's WrestleMania. We kick things off with Justin Gabriel battling David Otunga in a submission match, with David Otunga picking up the win. Seth Rollins is battling Fandango in an Extreme Rules match, with Fandango picking up the win. In a World Heavyweight Championship I Quit match, CM Punk is battling Heath Slater, with CM Punk picking up the win. Wade Barrett battles Triple H in an Extreme Rules match. Hey man, there's been a lot of gimmick matches on this card, with Wade Barrett picking up the win. We got the World Tag titles on the line in a Tag Team Falls Count Anywhere match, with Jack Swagger and Cesaro facing Brodus Clay and Tensai, with Cesaro and Swagger picking up the win. Titus O'Neil is battling Big E Langston, with Big E picking up the win. In the main event of WrestleMania, we got Daniel Bryan versus Edge in a ladder match for the WWE Championship, with the Rated R Superstar picking up the win. So Edge defeated Randy Orton to gain the WWE Championship. R-Truth is still the United States Champion. The Real Americans defeated Tons of Funk to gain the tag titles, and Natalya and Lita just keep trading off that Divas Championship. Meanwhile, over on SmackDown, CM Punk did defeat Heath Slater to gain the World Heavyweight Championship. Christian is still your Hardcore Champion. Mr. Money in the Bank was actually Daniel Bryan. In the year prior, it was John Cena. I forgot to check last year. My bad. Speaking of it being my bad, I also forgot to do the Royal Rumble last year. Daniel Bryan won this year while Zack Ryder won last year. Nevertheless, they both lost at WrestleMania. Going into year three's WrestleMania, Natalya's facing Lita for the Divas Championship. I don't think anybody could have saw that one coming. Natalya defeats Lita, though. We then move on to Santino Marella versus Tensai in a submission match, with Tensai picking up the win. Sheamus battles The Miz in an Extreme Rules match, with Sheamus picking up the win there. We then have a United States Championship Hell in a Cell match between Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio. Maybe it's an eye for an eye as Seth Rollins picks up the big win. The WWE Championship is on the line as Kane battles Randy Orton, with Randy Orton picking up the win. We got John Cena versus JBL, with John Cena defeating JBL in the main event of the evening. The World Heavyweight Championship is on the line as CM Punk battles Dolph Ziggler, with Dolph Ziggler picking up the big World Championship win at WrestleMania. WrestleMania. So Randy Orton defeated Daniel Bryan to gain the WWE Championship. Meanwhile, Seth Rollins defeated Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. Meanwhile, Rey defeated R-Truth to end that long old reign. The Real Americans did defeat 3MB to gain the World Tag Team Championships back, and Natalya defeated Lita to get the Divas Championship. While Dolph Ziggler defeated CM Punk to gain the World Heavyweight Championship, and Dolph Ziggler is also the Hardcore Champion. That's very, very interesting. Mr. Money in the Bank of Year 3 is Ryback, and the Royal Rumble winner was Kane. Year 4's WrestleMania opens up with, surprise, the Divas Championship between Natalya and Lita, with Lita picking up the win. We then have Wade Barrett versus the Great Khali, with Wade Barrett picking up the win. Brodus Clay is facing Scott Steiner for the United States Championship, with Brodus Clay picking up that win. Chris Jericho battles Triple H in a Falls Count Anywhere match, with Triple H picking up the win there. We got Antonio Cesaro versus Ryback for the WWE Championship, with Ryback picking up the win. John Cena battles it back out with JBL the following year, with John Cena still picking up the win. And the main event of the evening, we got the World Heavyweight Championship on the line as Titus O'Neil battles Dolph Ziggler, with Dolph Ziggler retaining, I believe. So Ryback actually did defeat Randy Orton to gain the WWE Championship. Meanwhile, Brodus Clay defeated Scott Steiner to gain the United States Championship. The Primetime Players defeated the Real Americans for the Tag Championships, and Lita defeated Natalya for the Divas Championship. While on SmackDown, Dolph Ziggler did defeat CM Punk, so he's been a world champion for over a year now. Meanwhile, he's also still the Hardcore Champion. So that's a double-year reign, if I do say so myself. While Mr. Money in the Bank was John Cena, and the Royal Rumble winner was Antonio Cesaro. Year 5's WrestleMania opens up with Layla battling Lita for the Divas Championship, with Layla picking up the big win. We then have Wade Barrett of the Barrett Barrage versus Big E Langston in a Falls Count Anywhere match, with Wade Barrett picking up the win. Santino Marella faces Mark Henry in an Extreme Rules match, and he loses to Mark Henry. Batista battles the Big Show for the United States Championship, with Batista picking up the win. Zack Ryder faces The Rock for the WWE Championship, with The Rock picking up the win. We got Ryback versus Jack Swagger versus Sin Cara in a triple threat match, with Ryback picking up the win. The main event of the evening, we got Dolph Ziggler versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship, with CM Punk picking up the win. The Rock defeated Tensai to become the WWE Champion, which sounds hilarious. Big Show lost the United States Championship to Batista. We had the Real Americans defeat the Primetime Players for the World Tag Team Championships, and Layla defeated Lita for the Divas Championship. Meanwhile, CM Punk did dethrone Dolph Ziggler. Actually, I take that back. No, he didn't. Alberto Del Rio dethroned Ziggler's long reign, but Ziggler won it back, and then Ziggler lost to CM Punk. But meanwhile, Dolph Ziggler is still your Hardcore Champion. I think that's the longest reign with the Hardcore title ever, if I do say so myself. Mr. Money in the Bank is actually Justin Gabriel, and the Royal Rumble winner was Zack Ryder. Year 6's WrestleMania opens up with a United States Championship match between Drew McIntyre and Santino Marella, with Drew McIntyre picking up the big win. The Divas Championships on the line as Oksana faces off with Lita picking up the win there. We got Darren Young versus Zack Ryder in an Iron Man match, with Zack Ryder picking up the win. Mick Foley battles Alberto Del Rio in an Extreme Rules match, with Mick Foley picking up the win. We then have Daniel Bryan battling Titus O'Neil for the World Heavyweight Championship in an I Quit match, with Titus O'Neil picking up the win. Fandango battles Scott Steiner in a one-on-one match, with Scott Steiner picking up the win. And then we got in the main event of WrestleMania, a Falls Count Anywhere WWE Championship match between Ryback and Tensai. That'll really put the butts in the seats, with Tensai picking up the WWE Championship. Well, Funk is on a roll as Tensai defeated Ryback to become the WWE Champion. Drew McIntyre won the US Championship by defeating R-Truth. The Real Americans defeated Team Cobra to get the World Tag Championships, and Lita defeated Layla to gain the Divas Championship. While over on SmackDown, Titus O'Neil did defeat Dolph Ziggler to become the World Heavyweight Champion. Dolph Ziggler is still the Hardcore Champion. Mr. Money in the Bank is actually The Undertaker right now, and the Royal Rumble winner was Daniel Bryan. Year 7's WrestleMania begins with Big E Langston battling Santino Marella, with Big E Langston picking up that win. We then got Big Show battling Jack Swagger with Nikki Bella in his corner. Jack Swagger with Nikki Bella picks up the win. Damien Sandow is battling Roman Reigns in an Extreme Rules match, with the Big Dog picking up the win. The World Heavyweight Heavyweight Championship is on the line as CM Punk battles Heath Slater. With Heath Slater, I got kids, baby, picking up the World Heavyweight Championship. We then got the WWE title on the line as Edge battles Randy Orton, with Randy Orton picking up the win in that rated RKO battle. Fandango battles Scott Steiner, with Scott Steiner picking up the win. In the main event of the evening, we just got a Batista versus Chris Jericho Extreme Rules match. Okay. And Jericho picks up the win there. Taking a look at the stat sheet now, we got Randy Orton defeating John Cena to earn that WWE Championship. Meanwhile, Scott Steiner won the United States Championship by defeating Drew McIntyre. The Real Americans defeated Team Cobra for that World Tag Team Championships. And AJ Lee won the Divas Championship by defeating Lita. You love to see that. Meanwhile, on SmackDown, Heath Slater defeated Antonio Cesaro to become the World Heavyweight Champion. And Wade Barrett is your new Hardcore Champion. How long was Ziggler's reign? Dolph Ziggler held the Hardcore title for 232 days. Mr. Money in the Bank this year, though, was Tensai. And the Royal Rumble winner was CM Punk. Year number 8 opens up with Lita battling Oksana in a ladder match for the Divas Championship, with Lita picking up the win. We then have Wade Barrett battling Jinder Mahal with Layla in his corner, with Jinder Mahal and Layla losing to Wade Barrett. Cody Rhodes is battling Daniel Bryan with Roman Reigns in his corner. That's pretty interesting, but Cody Rhodes pulls out the big win regardless. Big Show is now battling Christian in an Extreme Rules match, with the Big Show picking up the win. Kane battles Tensai for the WWE Championship, with Tensai picking up the win. We got Fandango battling Darren Young, with Darren Young picking up the win. And Scott Steiner is battling Titus O'Neil for the World Heavyweight Championship, with Titus O'Neil retaining in the WrestleMania main event. So Tensai defeated The Rock to become the WWE Champion. Batista defeated Drew McIntyre to become the United States Champion. The Real Americans defeated Team Cobra to become the World Tag Team Champions. And Lita defeated Oksana to become the Divas Champion. While on SmackDown, Titus O'Neil defeated CM Punk to become the World Champion. And Titus O'Neil won the Hardcore Championship by defeating Wade Barrett. Mr. Money in the Bank was actually CM Punk for this year. And the Royal Rumble winner was Kane. Welcome to year 9 of WrestleMania, if you will. We start with Lita battling Oksana for the Divas Championship, with Oksana picking up the win. We then got Zack Ryder battling Randy Orton in a Falls Count Anywhere match, with Randy Orton picking up the win. Damian Sandow battles Darren Young in an Extreme Rules match, with Darren Young losing to Damian Sandow. John Cena battles Ryback for the WWE Championship, with John Cena picking up the win. The Hardcore title is on the line at WrestleMania as Antonio Cesaro battles Triple H, with Antonio Cesaro picking up that win. We got Big E Langston versus Fandango in the co-main event of the evening, with Fandango picking up the win. And then CM Punk battles David Otunga in an I Quit match for the World Heavyweight Championship in the main event of WrestleMania, with David Otunga picking up the win. John Cena defeated Ryback to become the WWE Champion. Meanwhile, Batista defeated Drew McIntyre to become the US Champion. The Real Americans defeated Team Cobra to become the Tag Team Champions. And Oksana defeated Lita to become the Divas Champion. While over on SmackDown, David Otunga defeated Scott Steiner to become the World Heavyweight Champion. Antonio Cesaro defeated Triple H to become the Hardcore Champion. Mr. Money in the Bank was Kane. And the Royal Rumble winner was CM Punk. Kicking off year 10's WrestleMania, Oksana battles Summer Rae for the Divas Championship, with Summer Rae picking up that win. We then got Damian Sandow battling Jinder Mahal in a tables match, with Damian Sandow picking up that win. Zack Ryder battles Mick Foley in an Extreme Rules match, with Mick Foley picking up the win. Rey Mysterio battles Kofi Kingston in a United States Championship match, with Kofi Kingston picking up the win in the ladder match. That's a big win. Jack Swagger battles David Otunga in a World Heavyweight Championship match, with David Otunga picking up the win. Big E Langston battles Fandango, with Fandango picking up that win. And then the main event of the evening, Brock Lesnar battles JBL for the WWE Championship, with JBL picking up the win. JBL actually won the WWE Championship by defeating John Cena. Meanwhile, Kofi Kingston won the US Championship by defeating the Big Show. The Real Americans defeated 3MB for those Tag Team Championships, and Summer Rae defeated Oksana for the Divas Championship. While on SmackDown, it was David Otunga who defeated Jack Swagger for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Sheamus defeated Antonio Cesaro for the Hardcore Championship. While Mr. Money in the Bank was a two-peat as Kane ran it back. The Royal Rumble winner was actually Brock Lesnar. Year 11 opens up with the Divas Championship on the line as Summer Rae battles Oksana. Oksana does pick up the win, however. We move on, though, to Justin Gabriel battling Heath Slater, and it's going to be Heath Slater picking up that win. Wade Barrett battles Titus O'Neil in an Extreme Rules match, with Titus O'Neil picking up the big win. The U.S. Championship's on the line as Jericho battles Kofi Kingston in a ladder match, with Kofi Kingston picking up the win there. The WWE Championship is on the line as The Undertaker battles CM Punk, with CM Punk defeating The Undertaker at WrestleMania. We then have Fandango battling Roman Reigns. Fandango surely does love the match 6 spot at WrestleMania, but nevertheless, Roman Reigns picks up the win. In the main event of the evening, the Hardcore Championship is on the line as Antonio Cesaro battles Darren Young, with Antonio Cesaro picking up the win. So CM Punk defeated Dean Ambrose to become the WWE Champion. Kofi Kingston did defeat The Big Show to become the US Champion. The Real Americans defeated 3MB to become the Tag Champions. And Oksana defeated Summer Rae to become the Divas Champion. While on SmackDown, Scott Steiner defeated John Cena to become the World Heavyweight Champion. And Antonio Cesaro won the Hardcore Championship by defeating Darren Young. Mr. Money in the Bank was Cody Rhodes. And the Royal Rumble winner was The Undertaker. Kicking off Year 12, Oksana battles Summer Rae with the Divas Championship on the line, and it's Oksana who pulls out the big win there. We then have Heath Slater battling David Otunga in an Extreme Rules match, with Heath Slater picking up the win there. We got Sheamus battling Batista in an Extreme Rules match. Batista does pick up the win there. Cody Rhodes battles Damian Sandow in an Extreme Rules match, with Cody Rhodes picking up the win in that one. John Cena battles The Undertaker for the World Heavyweight Championship, with John Cena defeating The Undertaker. Big E Langston battles Fandango in match number 6, with Big E Langston picking up the win. And in the main event of the evening, the WWE Championship is on the line in a Hell in a Cell match between The Rock and JBL, with JBL picking up the win. So JBL defeated CM Punk to become the WWE Champion. Meanwhile, Jericho defeated Kofi Kingston to become the US Champion. 3MB defeated the Real Americans to become the World Tag Team Champions, and Oksana defeated Summer Rae to become the Divas Champion. While on SmackDown, John Cena defeated The Undertaker to become the World Heavyweight Champion, and Darren Young defeated Batista to become the Hardcore Champion. Money in the Bank is Edge, and the Royal Rumble winner was The Rock. Year 13's WrestleMania opens up with the Great Khali facing Brodus Clay. I guess it really was an unlucky number 13, huh? Brodus Clay loses to the Great Khali, though. We then head over to the Cobras facing Rollins and Ambrose, with Ambrose and Rollins picking up that tag win. Mick Foley battles Chris Jericho in a United States Championship match, with Chris Jericho picking up the win. The World Heavyweight Championship is on the line, though, as Undertaker battles Jack Swagger, with Jack Swagger defeating The Undertaker. The Hardcore Championship's on the line, and Sheamus battles John Cena, with John Cena picking up the Hardcore title. We got JBL battling Edge and Cody Rhodes in a triple threat match, with Edge picking up the win. And Kane battles Randy Orton in the main event in a ladder match for the WWE Championship, with Randy Orton picking up the win. Randy Orton defeated Dean Ambrose to become the WWE Champion. Meanwhile, Chris Jericho defeated Kofi Kingston to become the US Champion. 3MB defeated the Real Americans to become the World Tag Team Champions, and Nikki Bella defeated Oksana to become the Divas Champion. While on SmackDown, Jack Swagger did defeat The Undertaker to become the World Heavyweight Champion. John Cena defeated Scott Steiner to become the Hardcore Champion. Mr. Money in the Bank was actually CM Punk, and the Royal Rumble winner was Kane. Year 14 opens up with a Divas Championship match between Oksana and Nikki Bella, with Oksana picking up that win. Brock Lesnar battles The Big Show in a submission match, with Brock Lesnar picking up the win. The Cobras and Rollins and Ambrose run it right back the next year, with Ryder and Morella defeating Shield this time around. Darren Young battles Batista in an Extreme Rules match, with Darren Young picking up the win. The WWE Championship is on the line as CM Punk battles The Miz, with The Miz losing to CM Punk. We then have The Rock versus Randy Orton Orton with The Rock picking up the win. And in the main event of the evening, Jack Swagger faces Antonio Cesaro for the World Championship, with Cesaro picking up the win. Did the Real Americans break up? CM Punk defeated The Miz to become the WWE Champion. Fandango defeated Mark Henry to become the US Champion. The Real Americans are actually still the Tag Team Champions. And Oksana defeated Nikki Bella to become the Divas Champion. While Antonio Cesaro did defeat Jack Swagger to become the World Heavyweight Champion. And Justin Gabriel defeated Damian Sandow to become the Hardcore Champion. Mr. Money in the Bank is Chris Jericho. And the Royal Rumble winner was Kane. It's year 15 and we open up with a Falls Count Anywhere Divas Championship match between Lita and Oksana, with Oksana picking up the win there. Biggie Langston battles the Great Khali, who has AJ Lee at ringside, but Biggie Langston picks up the win. Heath Slater battles Justin Gabriel in an I Quit match for the Hardcore Championship, with Justin Gabriel picking up the win. We then have Kane battling Wade Barrett in a Falls Count Anywhere match, with Kane picking up the win. Rey Mysterio battles Alberto Del Rio in a WWE Championship match, with Alberto Del Rio picking up the win. Fandango battles Titus O'Neil, with Titus O'Neil picking up the win. And then in the main event of the evening, it is a tag team ladder match for the World Tag Team Championships between Team Cobra and Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger. So Cesaro and Swagger are two-time main eventers back-to-back years, and they pick up the win. You love to see that. So Del Rio defeated CM Punk for the WWE Championship. Rey Mysterio defeated Fandango for the United States Championship. The Real Americans defeated 3MB for the Tag Team Championships, and Oksana defeated Caitlyn for the Divas Championship. While on SmackDown, Jack Swagger defeated Antonio Cesaro for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Justin Gabriel defeated Damian Sandow, I can't speak, for the Hardcore Championship. Mr. Money in the Bank was actually The Rock, and the Royal Rumble winner was Rey Mysterio. Year 16's Wrestlemania opens up with Caitlyn battling Oksana for the Divas Championship, with Oksana picking up the win. We then got Big Show battling Dolph Ziggler with Natalya, with Dolph Ziggler and Natalya picking up the win there. R-Truth battles Darren Young, with R-Truth picking up the win. Wade Barrett faces Scott Hall, and Scott Hall picks up the win. That's the first time we've seen Scott Hall in the Universe Mode. Justin Gabriel battles Hollywood Hulk Hogan for the World Heavyweight Championship, with Hollywood Hulk Hogan picking up the win. Did the NWO invade? We got Ryback facing Sin Cara and Del Rio in a triple threat match, with Ryback picking up the win. And then Brock Lesnar battles The Rock for the WWE Championship in the main event, with The Rock picking up the win. So The Rock defeated Dean Ambrose to become the WWE Champion. Meanwhile, Titus O'Neil defeated Rey Mysterio to become the US Champion. The Real Americans defeated 3MB to become the Tag Champions, and Oksana defeated Lita to become the Divas Champion. While on SmackDown, Hollywood Hulk Hogan defeated Jack Swagger to become the World Heavyweight Champion. Justin Gabriel defeated Damian Sandow to become the Hardcore Champion. Mr. Money in the Bank was Six, aka X-Pac of the NWO. And the Royal Rumble winner was Brock Lesnar. Year 17 is here, and we kick things off with Nikki Bella battling Oksana for the Divas Championship in a Hell in a Cell match, with Nikki Bella picking up the win. Heath Slater battles David Otunga, with Heath Slater picking up the win. The World Heavyweight Championship is on the line in a Hell in a Cell match between Jack Swagger and Hollywood Hulk Hogan, with Hollywood Hulk Hogan picking up the win yet again. Titus O'Neil and Darren Young battle Zack, Ryder, and Santino Marella for the World Tag Team Championships, with the Primetime Players picking up the big win there. Edge battles Ryback in a Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Championship, with Edge picking up the win. We then have Antonio Cesaro battling Sin Cara and The Rock in a triple threat match, with The Rock picking up the win. And the Hardcore title is on the line in the main event of Wrestlemania, with Scott Hall battling Kane in a Hell in a Cell match, with Kane picking up the win. How many Hell in a Cell matches was that? So Edge defeated Ryback for the WWE Championship. Meanwhile, Titus O'Neil defeated R-Truth for the United States Championship. The Primetime Players defeated Team Cobra for the World Tag Team Championships, and Nikki Bella defeated Oksana for the Divas Championship. Hollywood Hulk Hogan did defeat Jack Swagger for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Kane defeated Justin Gabriel for the Hardcore Championship. Money in the Bank is The Miz, and the Royal Rumble winner was Edge. David Otunga battles Heath Slater with Summer Rae, with David Otunga picking up the win. Biggie Langston battles Titus O'Neil for the United States Championship here on year 18, with Biggie Langston losing to Titus O'Neil. The World Heavyweight Championship is on the line yet again between Jack Swagger and Hollywood Hulk Hogan, with Jack Swagger finally picking up the win against Hogan. We got Barrett versus Sheamus in a submission match, with Wade Barrett picking up the win. Brock Lesnar battles Mark Henry with Daniel Bryan. Mark Henry picks up that that win. Fandango battles Scott Steiner in a one-on-one match with Scott Steiner picking up the win. Mick Foley battles Edge in the main event in a Falls Count Anywhere match for the WWE Championship, and Mick Foley picks up the win. So Mick Foley defeated Edge to become the WWE Champion. Titus O'Neil defeated R-Truth to become the US Champion. The Primetime Players defeated Team Cobra to become the World Tag Team Champions, and Lita defeated Nikki Bella to become the Divas Champion. While on SmackDown, Jack Swagger defeated Hollywood Hulk Hogan to become the World Champion. Justin Gabriel defeated Heath Slater to become the Hardcore Champion. Money in the Bank is actually Justin Gabriel. And the Royal Rumble winner was Mrs. Foley's baby boy, Mick Foley. Welcome to year 19 as we open things up with Biggie Langston and Rey Mysterio battling Cody Rhodes and Christian, with Cody Rhodes and Christian picking up the tag win. We then go on to Nikki Bella battling Lita in a Divas Championship match with Nikki Bella picking up the win. Brodus Clay and Tensai face off with 3MB, with Brodus Clay and Tensai picking up the win. The hardcore titles on the line, though, in a ladder match as Damien Sandow battles Justin Gabriel, with Damien Sandow picking up that win. We got Scott Hall versus JBL for the WWE Championship, with Scott Hall picking up the win. Cesaro battles Randy Orton in The Rock in a triple threat match, with Randy Orton picking up that win. We then have the main event of Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus Darren Young and Titus O'Neil for the World Tag Team Championships, with Darren Young and Titus O'Neil winning a main event at Wrestlemania for the tag team titles. Scott Hall defeated JBL to become the WWE Champion. Chris Jericho defeated Titus O'Neil to become the United States Champion. The Primetime Players defeated Team Cobra to become the World Tag Team Champions, and Nikki Bella defeated Lita to become the Divas Champion. While over on SmackDown, John Cena defeated Kane to become the World Heavyweight Champion, and Damien Sandow defeated Justin Gabriel to become the Hardcore Champion. Money in the Bank was JBL, and the Royal Rumble winner was Scott Hall. Welcome to year 20, the last WrestleMania we are simulating on this video. We kick things off with David Otunga battling Kane in a tables match, with Kane picking up the win there. We then move on to Mick Foley battling the Great Khali in a submission match, with Mick Foley picking up the win as he tapped out the Great Khali, probably with Mr. Saka, let's be real here. Alberto Del Rio battles Drew McIntyre in an Extreme Rules match, with Drew McIntyre picking up the win there. We then have The Undertaker battling Heath Slater in a Falls Count Anywhere match, with Heath Slater picking up the win. Batista battles Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, with Randy Orton picking up the win there. We then have The Miz battling Darren Young, with Darren Young picking up the win. And in the World Heavyweight Championship, last match, last main event of WrestleMania, it's Damien Sandow versus Jack Swagger, with Jack Swagger picking up the win. So Randy Orton defeated Scott Hall to become the WWE Champion. Meanwhile, Christian defeated the Great Khali to become the United States Champion. 3MB defeated the Primetime Players to become the World Tag Team Champions, and Lita defeated Caitlyn to become the Divas Champion. While over on SmackDown, Jack Swagger did defeat Damien Sandow to become the World Heavyweight Champion. Damien Sandow defeated Justin Gabriel to become the Hardcore Champion. Mr. Money in the Bank was The Rock, and the Royal Rumble winner was Batista. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what happens when you go 20 years into the future on WWE 2K14's Universe Mode. Thank you for tuning into this one, though, and as always and forever, take it easy, though, guys. Peace!